Is Bigfoot on the campus of Penn State? Should three horns really play with long necks? And why don't peanut butter companies sponsor Bigfoot conventions? Find out on this edition of Notes from the Fringe, brought to you by the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast Network. It is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. This is Notes from the Fringe, your 10-minute, almost daily update in high strangeness, brought to you by the Caffeinated Cryptid Podcast Network. And I am your host, Bobby, or Bobby Dizzle, however you know me. And, like I say every day, I want to be a podcaster as a career. I want podcasting and content creation as my career. I want to find these interesting facts. I want to make funny stuff. I want to be entertaining. And I can't do it without it being a career because I have 8 to 10 hours a day at work. So please help me get to my goal of 100,000 followers on all my apps. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter/X. They're all in the description. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and share with your friends. Sharing is caring, unless it's herpes or leprosy or pink eye. Don't give people pink eye. Stay home, for real. But like I was saying, in the description of this, or in the intro, my violent intros that I do now, Pennsylvania is a hotbed for Bigfoot. I didn't know that. And apparently near Penn State is a bed that is also hot, which is in Pennsylvania. But I would have thought that was all urban. I don't know. I don't know anything about Pennsylvania. I'm stupid. But other items here. Pulling back the fourth wall. I'm recording this on the 18th of November. And today happens to be the 37th anniversary. Today is the 37th anniversary of The Land Before Time coming out, which makes my arthritis hurt. Hang on a second. I had to break the fourth wall again. I had to look up something real quick for this. But yeah, the 37 years ago today, sharp tooth. Three horns never play with long necks. Yep. Don't step on a cracker, you break your mama's back. And I hate to mention it and bring a Debbie Downer to this episode, but I have to do kind of a rest in peace to Miss Judith Barcy, who tragically passed away after Land Before Time came out. If you don't know the story of that, look it up if you want to. You don't have to. It's tragic. It's sad. She was the little girl that played Ducky, and she was sweet, and it's one of the, like the black eye on, or like the elephant in a room when you talk about Land Before Time, about how epic it was when it came out. I remember I was little. I was 5, if the math checks out. And yeah, it's tragic that she left us at such a young age, and she was part of such an epic film in all of our lives. So yeah, just think of her today, think of her family today, and be sure to go back and watch Land Before Time. It holds up like Jurassic Park does. It's like Jurassic Park. You know, you can watch Jurassic Park now, like it feels just like it did in '93 when you watched it. Land Before Time makes me cry. They could have done that whole damn movie without killing her mom, Littlefoot's mom dying. They could have. I don't know why they didn't. Who told them to? But just like Buddy the Elf last night, she could have walked with him to the Great Valley and it would be just as dramatic. But that's my diatribe about Land Before Time. Wow, what. We're all sad now. But anyway, moving on. Another random thought. Everybody I know that gives Bigfoot, everybody I know that interacts with them in any way, gives Bigfoot peanut butter. Why isn't there giant peanut butter trucks and those big inflatable peanut butter jars outside of these Bigfoot conventions sponsoring? You know, Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Convention brought to you by Peter Pan, or, you know, Smoother Than a Fresh Jar Skippy sponsoring the McMinnville Wildman Convention. I'm just saying, there's a missed out market, and if I ever do a Bigfoot conference or a paranormal conference whatsoever, there will be a peanut butter stand out front. Because, goddamn, my friend Randy in Minnesota has a pile of peanut butter lids that he puts out. Somebody's missing a hidden market, and I'm going to exploit it. So yeah, why don't peanut butter companies sponsor Bigfoot conventions? These are the things that run through my brain. These are what fuel me as a person and a crazy person. These are what fuel me as a crazy person. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's episode. Today's episode. I'm airing this in the morning. So on PennLive.com, there's a couple of articles. One from November 5th, and it comes in from a feller from October 4th off Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania. Around 5:30 p.m., drivers saw a tall figure, 2 legs, walking on the side of the road. It was behind a car in front of him, so he saw like the silhouette. It's pretty crazy. And he said it when the figure crossed the road, it glided rather than walked. And he said when it passed through the guardrail, he thought there was a hole in the guardrail because the thing never moved up and jumped over it. It passed right through it. But no, guardrail was solid. Reported to BFRO. Investigator said the witness was credible. He's an Air Force veteran. He's an engineer. So yeah, I mean, he saw what he saw. And the article goes on to the interviewee, the witness, I guess you'd call him. He went on to say he doesn't know what he saw, but he knows what he saw. He knows he saw what he saw. He just doesn't know what that was. And he knows the point of it was he knows it wasn't a bear, which is, I guess if it glides like that and it's up on its hind legs, it's not a bear. So yeah, that's Pennsylvania. That was October 4th, reported on the 5th in PennLive.com. Those notes are in the description of the link. Now on to this one, PennLive.com as well, also in the description. A Penn State student was hunting on public land just 3 miles north. I don't know if it's north. 3 miles from the Penn State campus. He was coon hunting. He heard a wood knock. He saw an upright creature out of the corner of his eye, out of his just, you know, I think it was his headlamp. I had to go back and read it. But he saw it just went behind a tree, an upright creature. Then, a few minutes later, while he was on speakerphone with a friend of his, telling him, like, dude, you have to bring me something to get this. I'm stuck in the woods and there's things chasing me. He hit his spotlight up and at 40 yards had a Bigfoot, full frontal at 40 yards. He said it looked like King Kong, had a sharp nose, gray skin, and pronounced brow ridge with sunk-in eyes. And after further investigation, I've learned that the people around Penn State call this Bigfoot Harry Sandusky. I may have made that last part up. But yeah, who knew that? Notes. I feel like a Conan O'Brien. But who knew that Pennsylvania was such a hotbed for Bigfoot? And I've never been to Pennsylvania. Full disclosure, I need to. I've heard it was awesome. I've heard that on deer season, it only lasts like a week. And so it's like the largest standing army in North America for that weekend. So I don't doubt that it's rural enough to house a Bigfoot. I mean, it's practically West Virginia north until you get to the Philly, Pittsburgh area. So it doesn't surprise me. They got the Appalachian Trail, and that's right there. If you have the Appalachian Trail in your state, as far as I'm concerned, you're contingent for a Bigfoot. You're in contingent. But who knows what this guy saw. But as far as the Penn State student goes, he had another experience before, and he's been on a couple podcasts. He goes by MK. So check out that article. They're in the description of this video, and I don't know if they're in it on the TikTok or Instagram. I don't know how those transfer, but you can check me out on YouTube. The also housekeeping as well. Merch of the week. I meant to mention this at the beginning. Merch of the week is my caffeinated cryptid mug. The merch link is on my website in the bio, and it's also in the description of this video. However you get it. It's a mug. It's got 2 of my older logos on it. It's 11 ounces. It's pretty cool. I used to have one back here, and I say this every time, but it's worth it. That's my merch of the week. I'm going to have merch of the week every week. I'm going to design t-shirts, and this mug is kind of get you started. So if you want to get on the ground floor with a caffeinated cryptid in its rebooted phase as it is right now, hit that merch of the week in the website, in my bio, or in the description, depending on how you get it. And that is about my time for the night. I'm hoping everybody's enjoying these videos, daily updates, because I'm enjoying making them, I'm enjoying crafting them and adjusting them, and they can only get better. I can only describe them as being, their purpose is to get me in the flow of doing these every day and doing 15 to 20 minutes by myself. I know this is only about 10 to 11, but I want to be able to do a good exposition podcast and then have a guest on after that. That's kind of hard to do without practice, because I did get out of practice this year. And, yep. So that will about do it for this episode. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and hit that like button, share with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I need 100,000 followers on all of my apps, and I would be very happy if you were one of them. All right, folks. See you tomorrow, and maybe I'll have something funny. Again, something interesting tomorrow to talk about. Peace out, everybody. And Joe Turry, please don't copy this. Bye-bye.